A lot of the time I just don't know how to start videos, so I'm just, as I'm sure a lot of other people with self-esteem issues have had, I've had a lot of problems with really unhealthy friendships that I've continued for the sake of others instead of my own personal health. As I've mentioned in the past, I didn't have friends until college, really. It was mostly just me piggybacking off of the companionship of my sister because people saw us, I guess, sort of as a package deal, so I don't know, we went to the same school, we were in the same classes, and no one really wanted to be my friend. I got picked on a lot, and when she got friends, I would sort of just be tagged along for the sake of, I guess, politeness. And I got into the trap where I would try to get people to not hate me by, complimenting people in excess, saying nice things to them, and just talking to them about them. It taught me that the only way people would value me is if I valued them more than I valued myself. And others have pointed this out a lot because it's not a good thing. I am too nice to people with no regard to how they've treated people or how they've treated me this past year. There was a member of my department at college who would come down to where I hang out in passing, just casually, and I started listening to his stories about how everyone in the department had accused him of all of this stuff and treated him badly and spread rumors about him and discluded him, and I was like, oh, I know exactly how that feels. And then a very small, insignificant event one day led to a bunch of frighteningly stalker-esque texts, and that's when I started hearing stories from people in the department about what had actually happened. And I was scared, but I made myself believe that this person is just misunderstood, he just needs companionship. I rationalized at one point I was a bad friend, at one point I was a creepy friend, because I was inexperienced in social cues and healthy relationships. And I took sympathy with him in a very large way. I was like, well, I guess maybe that used to be me, sort of, in a way. So I tried really hard to be his friend, and the texts wouldn't stop, and they got creepier. I don't think he realized that what he was doing was wrong, but I never had the heart to tell him that it was wrong and scary. And I would keep having breakdowns about it, like texting my friends, like, this is really frightening me, what should I do? And it would always end with me saying something akin to, oh, I'm not gonna give up on him. I used to be where he was at one point, everyone needs friends. One-sided friendships are not and cannot be friendships. There comes a point where you have to take into account, are both sides in this relationship equally as happy? Because if not, that's not a friendship that you should be having. I fell into the mistake a while ago of becoming the sometimes in everyone's life. I let myself become the, oh, you live with my friend, tag along. I'll pretend like I care about you for 5 hours. You cannot let yourself become someone's sometimes. The effects of that, the emotionally damaging effects of becoming that, don't just last for the duration of the friendship. They last for your entire life. It carries on. Every time you try to have a relationship with anyone, you're worried about becoming there sometimes because you let it grow into yourself that no one sees you as anything more or anything worthy of love and respect. Sometimes you have to break up with friends, but breaking up with friends can sometimes be the most important thing that you can do for yourself and for the other person in the long run. You may have a friend who you've made a promise to, I'll never stop being your friend, something like that, and then you discover that they are homophobic or racist or unkind or manipulative. And at that point, the words you've said, they do hold meaning, but there are certain things that have a lot more merit and meaning than promises you've made when it comes to your life and your health. Your emotional health is a very important aspect of your physical health, and sometimes you have to hurt other people for the better of the both of you in the long run. And it's hard and it sucks and it's probably the worst feeling in the entire world, but do not fall into the trap that I've been pushing myself into for the past 10 plus years. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. No one deserves to let themselves be treated like that. No one should value someone else's happiness or tranquility over their own. I mean, obviously, if you have a friend who needs someone to talk to, you're gonna talk to them and take in their sadness and make sure they're okay and take a minute away from your own needs to care for them. But if that's an everyday thing, in any way, in any aspect of draining energy, I think it's important to reevaluate what you're willing to go through and how much you're willing to hurt yourself for other people. Please be good to yourselves. You are so worthy of the most beautiful, purest love on this earth, in this universe, and you don't deserve the pain of sacrificing yourself in the hopes of pleasing others. It's really not worth it. It's better to honestly be alone for a while until you find the correct people. Sometimes you have to reevaluate and reconstruct even the people who you thought meant the most to you. And that's okay, because when you set yourself free from others, better things will always come your way. I mean, look at me now. Like, yes, I may lose a few friends a year, but I have a literal family. Like, I have people who would take a bullet for me, and it's real, and we love each other equally, and we don't hurt each other, and there's communication. You have to have communication and let the people you love know when something is hurting them or burdening them. I guess that's it. Also, if you've noticed, my hat, these pins are up for sale in my Etsy shop. I'm still trying to sell all of my Pride stuff to donate all the profits to Orlando. So that's a thing. Yeah.